Start tonight at the Braymiller Market in downtown Buffalo, with the owner pushing back against criticism about the grocery store's finances. At the close of business yesterday, owner Stuart Green paid more than $8,000 that he owed in taxes and interest to the city to avoid the Erie County IDA from clawing back tax incentives. Now, this is important, and you should care, because this is the only supermarket right there in the heart of downtown, and the city has invested a lot of money into this project. But to fully understand what's going on here, you have to go back to July of 2019 when Braymiller Market got involved at the request of the city to put that grocery store at what was then a parking lot. Of course, then came the pandemic, which delayed the opening, added to the cost, and then resulted in far fewer people working downtown every day. It really cut into the customer base. For various reasons, it's been pretty tough ever since. Last year, the Common Council approved a $561,000 forgivable loan to Braymiller Market, and Investigative Post is out now with an in-depth look at the past couple of years, which have been financially fraught. Now, we tried talking with Acting Mayor Chris Scanlon about all of this today. He did not take any questions at an event, but he sent us a statement late this afternoon noting those post-pandemic challenges for the grocery store and saying, quote, Braymiller is in full compliance with the forgivable loan agreement that he had with the city. Now, he added that his administration is in regular communication with the owner, the Buffalo Urban Renewal Agency, and other stakeholders to figure out how to move forward. J-Dale Shoemaker is a reporter with Investigative Post and joins me now live. He is out with that new article, J-Dale, that really, I know you went through hundreds of pages of documents, really looking at the past couple of years. And I know the owner didn't want to talk to you for this article. He thinks that, you know, the media is not being fair to him in all of this. But the point of this article, I guess, really is to see how we got to this point, right? And how over the past couple of years, there have been serious challenges and discussions in City Hall about how dire it is.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the pandemic and some of that history, Michael, because the big picture here is that City Hall had a belief that they could turn a downtown parking lot into affordable housing and a grocery store. They say that a grocery store is something that downtown residents have wanted for a very long time, and they thought that they had enough residential projects in the pipeline pre-pandemic that they could do this project, which was pretty heavily subsidized, the construction of the apartments, the construction of the store, and then later IDA subsidies for the store itself, to get this off the ground and really kind of revitalize downtown that way. When the pandemic hit, as you noted, a lot fewer people are living and working downtown now. A lot of those residential projects got stalled. And the store, in large part, has been left holding the bag. So what our story did, based on city records that I asked for, to be honest, last year, but only got this year, they detail just how bad that store has been struggling. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars in revenue losses every month. He's behind on his bank loan. He's behind on his city taxes on multiple occasions. And he was even so far behind on a state tax bill that they had to file a warrant with the county clerk before he paid up.
So I talked to Stuart Green by phone today at length. He says as of this moment, he is up to date on his taxes, paying the vendors, and on his mortgage. But he acknowledges, look, it is tough in that grocery store right now because of all the reasons that you just explained there. And I asked him, I was like, look, Stuart, if you could do this over again, knowing what you know now, pre-pandemic, would you have agreed to take this on? And he said, of course not. The question now is, like, how do we move forward from this, right? There's so much invested in this, and there's a reason that everybody wants to have a grocery store right there downtown, but it's a struggle.
Yeah, and I put that question to Acting Mayor Scanlon yesterday at the IDA meeting, because I've also confirmed in a story today that he did in fact pay up. The IDA kind of gave him 24 hours, pay up or we're going to start working on the papers. And Acting Mayor Scanlon yesterday, who's a member of the IDA board, said he's not ready to commit to another bailout, but did say he wants to see downtown and that store be successful. So it's really, what you have here is a store and a City Hall project up against some of these structural forces of downtown, where you don't have as many people as you had before. You've got sluggish capital investment. Banks are not really willing to support the developers doing a lot of those projects right now. And you've got this grocery store that's kind of left holding the bag.
Yeah, I just, in looking at all this, feel bad for Stuart Green that he's, stuck in this as the owner of this grocery store, but he said he's committed to making it work. We have acting Mayor Scanlon saying he's committed to making it work. Members on the Common Council say that. Is there a path forward here to make it work?
Time will have to tell. I mean, it's going to require, I think, maybe having more workers downtown. It might require having more residents downtown to get that foot traffic back. By the terms of his forgivable loan right now, he has to stay open for 1 more year to avoid paying that back. I'm assuming he's going to attempt to at least do that. And beyond that, you know, time will tell.
Yeah, and we should also point out, I mean, some people have, for instance, complained about prices inside the grocery store. Well, it's a locally owned grocery store. It's going to be hard to compete with the Walmarts of the world, right? Whenever you're, that sort of wasn't the business plan from the beginning. Make sure you read J. Dale's article right now, investigativepost.org. Also, I know it's been a busy week for you. You were at the OTB meeting today. All the patronage hires and also the raises. I mean, we're talking about just an astronomical sum of money. You have reporting on that as well.
Yeah, we have, just before I walked over to the studio here, we finished updating our story on investigativepost.org. We've got all of former Mayor Byron Brown's patronage hires at OTB. Those were completed today. We've got all the details online.
All right, we'll check that out. J. Dale Shoemaker, reporter with Investigative Post. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.